In this video, we're going to be talking about the spindle. The spindle is a really important part of this whole kit. They're all important, but this is a part of the kit that's going to require a lot out of you to craft, from harvesting the materials to carving well, and then incorporating into the overall simple machine that bow drill is. So when we're looking at spindles, we want to think about material. Materials can come from a variety of places. The best kind of materials to start with are going to be your low density woods. So oftentimes you can kind of like press your thumbnail into it and you'll see an impression left. That's not to say that other woods can't be used. They're just the best to start with. They're going to be the most energy efficient. So here we have a piece of white cedar. Really great wood to start with. This is something that was bucked out of a fence post and then split down. So it's really accessible, and this is what we provide for students. There are a whole lot of other woods that you can use. I have this basswood branch right here, which is a great option, another low density wood, also a really beautiful fiber material, but basswood is wonderful. This kit off of the land right here is balsam fir. You can use alders, you can use yellow birch, you can use so many woods. And we're going to provide you a whole list. And we're a bit focused in the Northeast, but you can definitely work with any wood that's around you. There are surely woods in your area that you're going to be able to use, but what's important is you start with that low density, energy efficient wood. Also, when it comes to harvesting materials, you want to harvest wood that doesn't have a lot of knots, so generally straight grained. This is just going to make carving a lot easier, and wood around knots tends to be a bit denser, and so it can kind of throw you some curveballs. You're going to want to work with wood that's dry, and you're going to want to also make sure to work with wood that's not rotten. Sometimes people refer to it as punky. So it would be easy to make an impression into punky wood, but it has a soft, rotten quality to it. And it also kind of makes it a bit of a sponge when it comes to atmospheric moisture. So it's going to crumble, it's going to fall apart easy, and it's not going to work well. Sometimes you can carve into the wood and get below it, but it's something that you're going to want to be aware of. So you're looking to identify your materials, make sure that you're harvesting the right kind of material that you're looking for, and that you're going to be harvesting from the right place on the tree. It's really important that your wood is dry, and you can get a sense for the dryness of wood by feel. So you can utilize your hands and see if it has a cooler temperature to it, as moisture in wood will often feel colder to the touch. You can also use more sensitive parts of your body, your wrists, or along your face, under your nose right here. And that'll really give you a way to tell if it's a little bit too wet. And if you have your choice, you definitely want to stick to any wood that's going to be drier versus any wood that's going to be wet. So when it comes to carving the spindle, this becomes the game, the fun, the challenge of carving in and of itself. So if you are new to carving, this is a really great challenge. If you are practiced at carving, then great. This is going to be pretty easy and straightforward. Straight. Straight is the key word here. Straight, perfectly round, and the right size. When it comes to carving the spindle, you're going to want to think about length, you're going to think about width, you're going to think about how it's going to be perfectly straight and round. So I like a spindle that's about 7 to 9 inches. I think what's important is that it doesn't come up to or above your knee. And anything that's like 4 to 5 inches is really fussy, and I end up burning them. So that's the length I'm looking for. I'm looking for something about 3/4 of an inch wide. I often see people with really thick spindles, and I think if it feels like you're holding a broomstick, no good. You want to go a little bit thinner than that. Also, when people are carving for the first time and they're really getting into it and really enjoying it, they're also apt to go too thin because they're just in the groove. So 3/4 of an inch, I think, is a pretty reliable measurement. You also want it to be straight. So even if it has like the slightest of banana curves to it, no good. You can adjust those things, but you really want to make sure that you're carving something straight, such that when I think it's pretty good, I'll take that spindle and I'll just roll it on a board. And that can help tell me if it's going da, 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 auditorily, it's not straight. You're also going to want to be sighting down along the length of the spindle and rotating it, and that's going to give you a good idea. And that while you're doing that, you want to look at the cross section of the end and make sure that it's round. It really needs to be round. Being particular about your spindle and carving the best spindle possible to work with will make this whole process happen a lot more smoothly. Otherwise, you're throwing hurdles in your way, and it's going to be inefficient, and it's not going to be able to retain the heat that it needs to build. So as you can see in this one, this is a spindle that's unused, and it has tapered ends. A short taper, a long taper. And they're both carved sharp. So the long taper, this is about a couple inches, 2 inches. This is what's going to go into your handhold, especially a handhold that's fresh and new. This is already burned out, so I wouldn't be using this one. But this one I have yet to carve and make a socket into, and so I need that sharp to burn into that. This is going to burn down, and we'll have to adjust that as we work on our kit, but this is what you want to start with. A nice sharp 2-inch long taper on the top side of your spindle, and on the bottom part of your spindle, you're going for a short, sharp taper. This is what's going to set into your fireboard, and it's going to help you burn in that socket, right? So we have to burn this in before we can carve this notch. And so what I think is really important is that when you carve that short taper, you're carving from one plane, that it's not coming in a zigzag, jaggedy fashion, right? So what I do is I take a knife and I hold it perpendicular, and I just roll my knife along the edge, and it creates this really great straight guideline to cut from. And then when I'm cutting it, I'm going to use both my thumbs and pressure, and I'm going to make a short, sharp taper. If this is a really long taper, you'll end up burning all the way through your board before you get to the full circumference of your spindle, which is what our goal is going to be when we're burning it in. So you need it short, you need it sharp. But this is a spindle that I would feel really good about. It's about 3/4 of an inch long, maybe 9 inches, or 3/4 of an inch wide, 9 inches long. It's straight, it's got the appropriate tapers, it's round, and this is good to go.